Okay, so in learning objective 8, we're going to be able to put all of this together and start using the model for something fairly useful and interesting, which is predicting changes in different markets. And we'll see that this applies to a lot of different situations and is one of the valuable skills that you'll get coming out of this class. So, in this particular example, I'm asking about the market for a particular kind of car, which is hybrid cars, right? So, imagine that you work for the auto industry in some capacity. So perhaps you work for Bergstrom Automotive, you work for Toyota or Chevrolet or one of these companies. And one of the things that's going to be important is to understand how different trends are working in the market. And to do that, I need to put together a lot of information from economics. So what I'm really looking at here, so I'm kind of noting that the price of gas has been relatively low since 2014. So there's a graph here, if you click on it, that shows the price of gas. And ultimately, what my question is if the price of gas goes down, what happens to the market for hybrid cars? And so let's take a look at this question. We're going to have to put together a bunch of ideas that we've learned so far. So the price of gas goes down. How does that affect the market for hybrid cars? Well, we have one fact to first keep track of, which is that cars and gasoline are, generally speaking, complementary goods. So if I own, let's say, an SUV that uses more gas, that's a stronger complementary good than, say, with a hybrid. So you could also sort of think of gas guzzlers and hybrids as substitutes. I could either get the hybrid or I could get the gas guzzler. So we know from thinking about demand, when the price of a complementary good changes, it affects my demand for this good. So if the price of gas goes down, I'm going to be more willing to buy more gas guzzlers, right? Demand for gas guzzlers is going to increase. And so what that means for hybrids, since it's a substitute with the gas guzzler, is demand for for hybrids is going to decrease. So demand for hybrids will decrease. Right? So if I put this into our demand and supply framework, the quantity and the price, supply, and we have demand. So let's say that back in, 2005, the price of a hybrid vehicle was 20,000. We'll say 25,000. And maybe we sold 30 million. Okay, so that was our initial equilibrium. As the price of gasoline decreased, demand for hybrids decreased with it. So demand is decreasing or shifting to the left. Decrease. Price of gas went down. I'm shifting from hybrids to gas guzzlers. decreasing demand for hybrids. And so if I follow our new equilibrium point where demand intersects supply, the price has gone down to, let's say, 20,000. And the quantity sold is going to decrease, let's say, to 25 million. So using some basic economic analysis, I know that if the price of gas goes down, the price of hybrids will decrease, and the quantity sold is also going to decrease. And if you look at what has happened in the market for hybrids over this period of time where the price of gas has remained relatively low, that's generally what we've seen. The relative price of hybrids has come down. They've become cheaper relative to other vehicles. And the quantity sold has decreased, right? So this is very valuable analysis to have if I'm in the auto industry or even as a buyer, right? So knowing if I want to buy a hybrid, when's the best time to buy it is when the price of gas is low because demand is lower and I'll get a better deal. So that's a great application of our supply and demand analysis. So I'm going to have a few more that we'll do in the next video where we will have a look at what happens to the price of orange juice. So try to think about this one and write down your answer before you watch the next video. So a freeze in Florida damages the orange crop. That increases the price of oranges. How does that affect the equilibrium price and quantity of orange juice? Okay, so we'll come back to that in the next video.